Hello and welcome to What's Up Punk. We're taking a look at the myriad subgenres underneath the umbrella of punk. Today we'll be taking a look at Weedpunk. Dave may not be here, man, but Alice is. What is wait. No, my bad. Wait. Today we'll be looking at Weedpunk. The future is green, but not the way you're thinking. Okay, now go. What is Weedpunk?
Everyone likes smoking weed. They have for thousands of years. They're not going to stop anytime soon.
A form of literature which began sometime in the 1960s. The movement was underground. Bookstores often refused to sell the genre, and parents fought for public schools to ban it. There were several great works about it from Bob Dylan, Carol Moore, Philip K. Dick, Robert Shea, and Robert Anton Wilson. Weedpunk is a subgenre of speculative fiction. The term denotes worlds set in an era or world where weed power is widely usable, usually in the 21st century and often set in urban America, but with prominent elements of either science fiction or fantasy, including fictional technological inventions such as dare robots, or real social developments like weed bars occurring at an earlier date. Other examples of Weedpunk contain alternate history style presentations of the path not taken, such as technology as weed-powered vehicles, or computers. These frequently are presented in an idealized light, or a presumption of functionality. Weedpunk is often associated with an oppressive government and features underlying themes of rebellion. Unlike other punk genres, Weedpunk developed almost completely separate from cyberpunk or steampunk. Weedpunk is generally thought to be dystopian, however many elements of Weedpunk stories contain elements of hope, such as laughing at topics most people would find frightful, or having periods of deep introspection, burning down a John Cross and contemplating the deep mysteries of Evangelion.
The significance of a human family, The robot is part of it and is accepted into it. And
What's he talking about? He wrote a whole book on the deep mysteries of Eva. Hey, what?
Technology.
Got my degree in pharmacology. I'm licensed.
Weed powered. Remember this old chestnut?
It's a car. Only you put water in the gas tank instead of gas. And it runs on water, man!
Same concept, but even more in keeping with Hyde's sensibilities. It's bong water and weed that makes the world go round. Everything from motorcycles to WMDs, all powered by Kush, along with massive smokers that pump weed smoke into the air of green cities, helping to heal the ozone layer and keeping society chilled, instead of a nuclear winter, cannabis winter.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
And like steampunk, the power output to the fuel used is basically magic. But it's not about the science, it's about the vibes. Aesthetic.
I want something we haven't had in a while. Something different, something that'll really hit the spot. I want the perfect food.
The core principle is comfy. Relaxed, laid-back vibes a la Ron Slater. Comfy jeans, big shirts, and broken-in sneakers. With marijuana leaves, Jimi Hendrix, and other cultural pot-smoking touchstones on full display. The extremes being more hippie aesthetic, drawing a lot of inspiration from the 1960s. Clothing with sacred geometry on it, hair and pants, bright colors, basically tie-dyed anything, spiral patterns, long flowing gowns and coats, bandanas, tank tops, rainbow everything, big glasses, bell bottoms, beaded jewelry, to just wearing a lot of green. While anti-commercialism is part of Weedpunk fiction, using weed as currency does come up, rarer, more potent strains being worth more than others. Themes of memory loss or forgetfulnism, both positive and negative qualities on display in a Weedpunk story. Weedpunks must live every day, moment to moment, since their memory's shot till they sober up. Also makes it hard to make any plans and stick to it. Like Tesla Punk, a common array of heroes who were prominent during the drug culture, such as Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix, make prominent appearances in Weedpunk fictions.
Well, hello there.
Sometimes being contemporary, gaining immortality, or time displaced. While anyone watching this across the pond will find this odd, stateside-based Weedpunk fiction, weed bars, and coffee shops are prominent plot points, areas of relative safety for rebellious weed smokers. Now, while that may not sound dystopian as cyberpunk does, it is. Yeah, most people are vibing, but think of the whole world stuck in couch lock. Some advocates for less toking, others trying to keep the status quo and a seat at the Mad Hatter's tea table. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have squares fighting for total banning of cannabis, despite all the benefits and being the de facto resource. Be like trying to ban steel or wood or bacon, just can't be done. my recommendations.
Bye, Bo.
I guess she wasn't in there. We didn't check under the couch.
While some of the works have been lost to book burnings. Oh, no, not that kind. They were featured in cannabis fanzines and, well, paper, pot smokers. You get where I'm going with this. A few modern writers have taken up the Weedpunk banner, my personal favorite being The Weed Bomb by Tumblr user Dog Bosser. Since we're working with such a small pool of media for this one, I will forego my usual reviews and let an excerpt from page 155 of the Weedpunk Chronicles speak for itself.
There she stood, clad in a brilliant green latex body thong. Natasha Cush, agent for the Herb faction, and yet she was helping Richard. He could not understand. "You saved my life, but why?" he asked, his voice trembling as he examined her.
Let's just say we have high hopes for you, Doctor.
The words hung on her lips, which were also green.
Sometimes you have to play the field, and I'd like to keep you in play.
She winked seductively, her green eyeliner glittering hypnotically.
"Now that's what I'm talking about,"
said Clint from his weed cycle. "Enough of your quips, Clint, and enough of your confusing advances, Miss Cush. That monster is wrecking New Atlanta, and if we don't figure out how to reverse the dank mutagen, it may well infect everybody in its path."
"True weedpocalypse."
Clint rubbed his stubble at the idea. Natasha pulled a small purple vial out of her cleavage, which was quite awesome.
This can cure the affliction, but it needs a delivery system.
Clint and the doctor eyed each other knowingly.
"The weed cannon,"
Clint whispered. "Looks like we're gonna blow that monster sky high," Richard whispered back.
Chills. Literal chills. Where did Weedpunk start?
You cool, man? Like how? Okay.
Once again, we're dealing with a tale of two Weedpunks. There is the long-established, well-known origin, which, of course, started in 2700 BC in China. And not long after that, the Weedpunk genre was born. Although the movement as we know it today was not started until like the 1960s, at the heights of the drug's popularity. Artifacts with Weedpunk references can be found as early as 1922. Then there's the real origin. On Wikipedia, its article was then summarily deleted by the squares that control Wikipedia on February 2008. This claim cleaned up the section of cyberpunk derivatives. The only remnant of the article was this discussion.
If by improving the article you mean adding unsourced nonsense, you are barking up the wrong tree. This article needs a lot of work, certainly, not least of which would be adding references. But all of the genres listed in the article at least have their own articles, which are, to one degree or another, referenced. The article is not helped, though, by adding information that cannot be referenced, and would not meet standards of notability and verifiability if an independent article was created. Republican Jacobite, the 45, the 31st of January 2008.
Very well. However, the term stonepunk is definitely verifiable, as it is even mentioned again later in the article. I will add that one back on until someone disproves it later, however. It is almost common knowledge that the Flintstones is of this variety of punk. The Weedpunk article will remain removed for the time being. Anyone else have other thoughts? Benny May. 1st of February, 2008.
Because it's a hoax.
April Fool! April fucking Fool, you motherfucker!
How do I feel about Weedpunk? I'm so sorry, punks. But I had to, okay, because I got taken in as well. Between PKD making orange marmalade currency, the literal dial drug machine from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and whatever the fuck Naked Lunch was, I can buy Weedpunk as a thing. And before actually doing research on it, I bought in hook, line, and sinker. And the real what the fuck is, why isn't this a thing? It seems like a good premise. Overly oppressive regime pouring money and manpower into a war that can't be won, so powerful individuals can prosper over a common man, using propaganda practices to young people, not at the age to truly understand what was going on. Instead of informing on safe and responsible practices, with no scientific backing, instead using piffy sayings like just say no, leading, maybe not directly, but in a small part, to other chemical dependencies that are actual threats. Huh. That was just reality for a while, wasn't it? I'm saying we get marching headlong to the dark future, but bitch, we were living in a more mundane Weedpunk reality since Reagan. Moving away from that, the real, true crazy thing of it all, Even the slightly more high-tech version of Weedpunk isn't that crazy. Hemp, the same plant as weed with less THC, has been used in creation of biofuels like Chew2 since 2014. No way, no one has not tried getting high on Chew2. I'm not even going to look up if that's hemp-based, I just know NC. Not just as biofuel, but also as semiconductors, nanofiber tubes, and batteries. A weed power world is not that crazy of a concept. Along with building components similar to concrete and plastics, best part, plastics would be biodegradable. If certain old as shit public officers would roll over and die already, future could reach some highs. Begging back to the question, why is Weedpunk not a thing? Well, this has been What's Up Punk. Till next time, sync Apocalypse Now and Weird Al's Eat It. Go to Laser Floyd Show, get some Wendy's, and enjoy this unofficial holiday responsibly.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Cheech and Chong's next movie, Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams, Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke.
Bingo.
But keep on being no good, dirty punks.
You know it, you love it, here's the spiel, let's do it. Hit subscribe to be my subscriber. Hit the bell so you know when I've actually posted stuff. Still no idea why those two things are separate now, but whatever. And of course, hit like to appease the algorithm gods. All fear and praise. On a list of whatever YouTubes, I am also probably not going to get any ad revenue for these videos, so if you would be so kind, check out that Patreon and the GoFundMe. Links in the description.
We also have memberships now. It's $1 if you like helping out the show. That'd be great. If not, have a good one, punks.